Let's go check it out. Flat City means there's no waves. It's flat. I'm doing this video for some of my friends, Mike and Robert, Morgan, and others who like to see the surrounding areas and the different beaches, because the waves are like, the swells are actually, on Surfline it says 0.7 foot, 0.9 foot, and 0.8 foot respectively. There's 3 swells and they're all tiny. So this is looking north. We're at Torrey Pines State Beach. If you look on Google Maps, this is technically part of La Jolla, and we're heading north toward Del Mar. And I just want you to see, it's really quite a pretty beach in the sense of the sand and just all the stuff that goes with the beach life. And we're heading north. There's a number of people out in the water, but they're all boogie boarding or just wading in the water. There's a bridge coming up on the right hand side, then there's water flowing out from underneath it, which causes a sandbar to build right there, and you'll see there's some tiny waves and some people out in the water. Here you got a few boogie boarders, maybe a dozen people in the water, but up ahead we're going to get to a place. I noticed when I was driving looking for a parking place, there's got to be somewhere close to 40 or 50 people in the water right up ahead. I don't know if they're having a surf camp or what, but that's what it looks like. Note the bridge on the upper right hand corner of the screen. The train comes underneath that, and I'm going to tell you a very sad story because I had the greatest opportunity to video the train and chase it down. You know what I'm talking about, you guys that have been on for a while. And I didn't hair out, but well, I'll tell you later. Here's all the people that are playing around in the water. It's obviously a surf class or something to that effect. Now, the train runs north all the way up to LA and points beyond. Here's this, between that last segment and this segment, sorry about that, I didn't want to cut anything out. I actually flew back to underneath that bridge, and a train came through underneath the bridge exactly at that time, and I put it in sports mode and I raced after it, and it was going great, but unfortunately, it wasn't recording at the time, so I'm really bummed. Massive depression. I have to have an emergency appointment with my therapist. On the upper left corner of the screen, you see a parking lot on this other side of the road. That's paid parking, and you can get a year pass, and you park there and walk under that little bridge right there. You can see the sandbar that's built up. And there's 2 parking places. That one I just pointed to, and then there's another one I'll show you. Lots of birds. No one attacked my drone, thankfully. I'm gaining altitude because I wanted to show you what it looks like on the other side of the road. This is, I call it the marshland, and there's a reason for that, but I don't want to go into it at this time because of the point of references that you would need. But that's not really the name of this place. If I remember correctly, it's, what is the name of it? I guess I can't remember. Los Penasquitos Lagoon, something like that. So there's this valley here, and early in the morning there's a transfer of energy from the land to the ocean because of the difference in the temperature. The land seems to hold the temperature. It heats up during the day, and then of course cools off at night. So usually it's an offshore breeze and sometimes quite brisk. And we were coming by this area one time, some friends of mine, and man, it was cranking. The waves were just incredible because there's no reef out here. It's a sandbar and it just happened to be built up just perfectly. There was these right barrels that were coming out of there, and we were just in pig heaven for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So we're flying along the beach. As you can see, not very crowded. A lot of cars, but not very crowded on the beach, which means these people didn't pay for their parking. Like I didn't either. So if you come to San Diego area and you want to go to these beaches, you can park in these lots. Just be prepared to pay, I was going to say a lot. I can't remember what the price is because I bought a year pass, but I'm going to guess it's somewhere around $15 or something like that. So the reason I'm spinning around, their helicopter just went by up in the top portion of the screen. You can see it. And there's a lot of air traffic today. That's why the FAA says to keep your altitude under 400 feet. I'm at 398. And now I'm going to gain some altitude because I want to show you Torrey Pines State Park. And I'm talking about there's hiking trails up here. And I remember my friend Dr. Brad used to bring his kids over here. They lived in Del Mar, right on the other side of the road, and they'd hike on all these trails. I know my wife and I did this a long time ago. And of course, Torrey Pines Golf Course, you can see in the distance, and in the far upper right hand corner, that peninsula, that's La Jolla, downtown La Jolla area. Heading back now, dropping altitude. The road that is right on the right hand side of the screen runs north to south. It's the old Highway 101 or Highway 1. It's called Camino Real, the King's Highway. And before there were interstates like I-5, we would take that road, this road right here. And if you want to go to LA, that's the road you took from San Diego to LA. One last video of the inland area, and while I was doing this, okay, so I'm almost done with one battery, and while I'm doing this, the lifeguard comes up and says, you know, this is the only beach in San Diego where you can't fly a drone. So I said, how come? It's not posted, because I really do try to obey some of the laws, actually most of them. And he said it has something to do with the, I can't remember what he said, wildlife or indigenous whatever. And I said, okay. So I brought it down and landed it and parking it on top of my van. That's where I took off from. That's pretty much it for today. The rest is landing my little drone, and I can't tell you when the next time we're going to have any waves, but I don't see it in the forecast for this week, so I'll see you next time we get some waves. Okay, that's it for this video. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. Catch you on the flipper, 5x5 in the pipe, over and dude out.